American Timelines is a member of the Queen City Podcast Network, powered by Ortho Carolina. Find out more at queencitypodcastnetwork.com.
So now I'm obsessed with time. Come on, tell me about the time. Had it all in my hand tonight. Had the time of my life. When the words all come down like blues on Tuesdays.
Okay, we've been recording for 2 seconds.
Throw it all
How good is it so far? You like that?
No, flirty fishing was
Oh,
part
yeah.
of the Children of God cult.
Oh.
And the leader would send his flock out and prostitute themselves to try to get new members into the cult. And that was called flirty fishing.
Flirty fishing, like trying
Yeah.
to flirt with people and see if they can
Well, they were
join the cult?
prostituting themselves.
Oh, for sex.
Mm-hmm.
Where was this?
In
And when was
California in like the 70s.
it? Wow. Well,
Anyway.
I'm
Should we
drinking
start?
Sycamore Brewing Drippy.
We didn't start. We have to start first.
It's going to be a big deal that you're back.
I know. Nobody's listening, so it's not like
No,
it matters any.
I don't know who they are anymore. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure nobody
Nobody.
we know
No.
listens anymore.
Right.
But there's people that listen.
Really? Well, this is for them.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably, a lot of them are probably pissed that you were gone.
No. Nobody cares.
No, I think the people who listen like you
Mm.
and don't like care for me.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
Just Brent Nelson.
Yeah, Brent Nelson's he
doesn't speak for everyone.
Percentage of the population.
All right. You ready to start?
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of American Timelines.
Isn't that a
I'm
nice
Amy, and that's Joe.
I'm Joe. Yes, isn't that a nice, refreshing voice to hear? Aren't we so glad to hear that again?
I'm here
We're so
for a
glad.
special episode.
I think a lot of people thought I might have murdered you.
Or
mean-
I might have just finally left you. I might have finally just
You finally came to your senses
Took
and
to
left, but you're still here with
all
me
the
for some
abuse. I
reason.
finally said, forget it.
Abuse?
No.
I don't abuse you.
I know you don't.
I would never hit you because you could kick my ass. But I think there's a lot of people
There's
that
a lot
thought-
of sexual harassment that goes on in our relationship.
Oh, there is?
I'm going to have to say.
It's not harassment is defined as unwelcome. And so that way it's not. It can't be because it's welcome.
Oh, okay.
You married me.
I
Like you're
know.
into my bod.
I am, but
Like there's times I see you checking
sometimes
out
I'm
my
busy.
abs. Oh, sometimes you're busy.
Yes.
Cooking. Sometimes I see you checking out my rock hard abs. No, but I do think people thought I
You
may have
murdered-
killed you because
yeah.
like the Gabby Patino thing.
Oh.
Like, because they were like a true crime. I think they were a true crime.
No, they were just a van
podcast.
life or whatever that is.
Oh, they were, but I thought they focused on true crime or something.
No.
Oh, well, they were reality YouTubers or something.
Yeah, they were. So
But
anyway.
I do think people thought you were dead. But guess what, everybody? In your face, we got to timestamp this. So this proves
mushroom
you're still-
stamp?
we
Mushroom
have to-
stamp it?
You're harassing me now.
I know.
You have to mushroom stamp the time so they know you're still alive.
Yes.
So
Hold up a newspaper with
yeah.
the current date
well,
on
you
it.
can't do that because this is an audio.
Oh,
medium.
right. That's
so
true.
you'd have to just say the date.
Oh,
but-
is it? It's October the 3rd, 2021.
Yeah, but that might.
But I
not
could
suf-
say that
You could say that
anytime.
anytime, but say something that happened.
today.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. I'm going to pay attention.
Is there anything that happened in the news that's notable? Did you watch SNL? No, you didn't watch that last
Oh,
night.
I saw the school board meeting mock-up on SNL.
Oh, you did?
They did I think it was the cold open or something where they had all these crazy people at the school board meeting.
Oh, I didn't see that. I was trying to watch last night, but I fell asleep. It was Owen Wilson was hosting.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
And we're so old now that I fall asleep all the time.
Yeah, I know. Me
and
too.
I wake up and I don't know what's real. Like I woke up and I honestly couldn't tell. I was very groggy. I wasn't drunk, but I couldn't tell if it was really Owen Wilson or if somebody was playing Owen Wilson.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I stared at it. I was like, oh, God, boy, this guy is a great Owen Wilson.
And then you realize it was him.
I didn't realize. I think I was like, God, that guy's really good at Owen Wilson. And then for a minute, I was like, or is that Owen Wilson hosting maybe? And then I was like, I'm too tired to even think about this. So I turned it off and I went to bed.
That was a
and
great
that's all
story.
I saw. Isn't that great?
All right.
But Owen Wilson's almost doing a character of himself at this point, don't you think?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Owen Wilson was on SNL. Amy's alive.
Yes.
We're doing September, so we had thanks to TBJ and her sister Tiffany, who are her sister Tempest, her
Yes.
sister Tiffany and her sister Tiffany, and Tempest. They were on last week. They're working on a true crime podcast called
Cool.
6 Degrees that they want to put together, so they're practicing with us. And thanks to Gruff, who's been filling in from the Loud and Gruff show.
I know. Listening to you two choke through a true crime story
Pretty
is
stupid.
quite entertaining.
Two guys that don't like true
that
crime
hate true
talking
crime.
about
That'd be
it.
like
And
me doing a wrestling story or something.
And of course, I picked somebody whose voice is a complete bark all the time.
Yeah.
Like his gravelly voice. But he's a great guy, and he's probably the guy that I have the most rapport with. Like the guy I know as close to as well as I know you. So,
Yep.
and he's up for anything. That's the cool thing. That's why I like Loud and Gruff, because I can just bring up anything and he'll have something to say about it. So, but with all that, Amy's back. I don't know if she's always going to be back. You're still very busy, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're tired. You're busy. You have your 18 COVID shots. You've got your.
Yeah, I'm struggling. I got my booster, and it kind of threw me for a little bit of a loop.
Kicked your ass this week.
Yeah.
You've been out of it, and so I feel for you. But she's powering through because she's got a great story.
Yes.
For September 1953. So for a little while, you might only just make an appearance when it's a good story. Is that what you want to do at this point?
I think so. For a little while.
Yeah, we'll see how next week goes. If
Yeah.
we're up for it. But right now we're in September of 1953. Amy's got a great story. That's good because I have nothing. I have just garbage, like dumb shit. That's,
oh, great! So fast forward for about 20 minutes.
yeah, it's not going to take very long because I didn't find anything good. I'm like struggling at talking. Like
mine's
last week I had a
pretty
bunch
long, so that's probably good too.
Oh, that's good. So we'll start. You never gave me dates though.
Oh.
You know what date yours happens?
September 28th,
Okay.
our anniversary.
That's our anniversary, so that's why we got married that day. So that'll be good. So we'll get to the end of my stupid crap, and we'll just go. So let's burn through my crap and get to Amy's awesome murder.
I guess I should stop giving security question answers on our podcast, huh?
Yes. Don't give out our anniversary. And, yeah, Amy's really bad at
I
answering
know,
the
I
stupid
forget.
Facebook that's obviously, what was the make and model of your first car?
Okay, you don't
And
have to
how
rub
many
it in.
children do you have?
Nobody,
And
I
what's
didn't
the
answer
last
that.
4 digits of your social security
Nobody
number?
asked me that.
Yeah, but it's all the phishing stuff
Yeah.
that's big now. Anyway, September 4th, 1953. We're jumping in here.
Yes.
I don't know if you know that the discovery of REM sleep was first published by researchers Eugene Azarinsky and Nathaniel Kleitman. on
And did they
September
sing
14th.
"Losing My Religion"?
That's me in the corner.
Yeah.
Leonard Bernstein. Zabba-dabba-dee-be-da, zabba-dabba-ding-da. Leonard Bernstein.
What is that?
That's an REM song, isn't it? Where they just name a bunch of things.
That's
It's
Billy
the
Joel.
end of the world.
Oh, you're thinking of
as
that
we
song.
know it.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about
Leonard
that.
Bernstein. Leonard
right,
Bernstein.
that's enough.
That's the one. All I can remember is they say Leonard Bernstein. I just remember because Muppet would always sing that at karaoke.
Okay, let's go.
What if somebody only sang that and we didn't start the fire over and over, like back and forth,
Just
songs listing
shouting words,
words.
shouting nouns.
shouting out. And then after that, somebody gets up there and does the 2 all beef patty special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. All right, September 4th, 1953. You remember that Big Mac song? That
Yes.
commercial where they shouted that?
Yes.
This is how bad my white trash school was. In middle school, there was a kid that memorized all that,
Mm-hmm.
and like he got to do it in front of the school every time we did an assembly. Okay, before we start the assembly, we're
Nuh-uh.
gonna bring this kid up to yell the Big Mac
What?
jingle. 'Cause
Didn't every kid know all the words to that?
at the beginning they didn't, and everybody's so amazed that this kid knew him. I guess I don't know. It's just a weird memory. I have.
That is
Okay,
so weird.
that's dumb.
You sure
And
it's not a dream you had?
I went to a very weird white trash school. We watched Fat Boys Disorderlies for our Christmas holiday movie.
Oh my god.
September 4th, 1953. That same day,
Yeah.
we have our first birthday.
Amy hates birthdays. Amy hates birthdays.
Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, American actor, was born in New York City, New York. You know who Lawrence Hilton Jacobs is?
No.
He was the 5th of 9 children of parents Hilton Jacobs and Clotilda Jacobs. Attended Wilkes University for a short time before his acting career took off, but he began his acting career in the summer of 1969 as he graduated from the High School of Art and Design. In 1971, notable alumni include Tony Bennett, Fab Five Freddy, and Play from Kid and Play. Afterward, he studied acting with the Negro Ensemble Company and the
Is it Lawrence
Alf Band
Fishburne?
Theatrical Ensemble. Nope. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs played Freddie Boom Boom Washington on Welcome Back, Kotter.
Okay.
He was in some other awesome stuff. Like he was in Cooley High, I think, and there was something else big he did. I can't. I've already forgotten. Anyway,
Yeah.
but I can't skip Freddie Boom Boom Washington. He's the best.
Yeah, he is pretty good.
Yeah, you liked him, and you had a nickname Boom Boom for a while, didn't you? Because of him.
Well, I gave myself that nickname because I talked about how
I don't
stupid
know.
it was when people give themselves nicknames.
Oh, so you gave yourself.
So
a
I,
nick-
yeah, I don't remember exactly how it started.
You're a cute little Boom Boom. And then September 5th, 1953 was a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
The United Nations rejected the Soviet Union's suggestion to accept China as a member.
Oh,
And that's all I have on that. And
Okay.
September 10th, 1953, Swanson sells its first TV dinner.
oh, and it begins.
The first TV dinner, yes, it begins. Several smaller companies had conceived of frozen dinners earlier, but the first to achieve success was Swanson. The first
Wow.
Swanson brand TV dinner was produced in the United States and consisted of a Thanksgiving meal of turkey, cornbread dressing, frozen peas, and sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
It was packaged in a tray
You all right?
like those used at the time for airline food service. Each item was placed in its own compartment. The trays proved to be useful. The entire dinner could be removed from the outer packaging as a unit. The tray with its aluminum foil covering could be heated directly in the oven
Right.
without any extra dishes, and
Yeah.
one could eat the meal directly from the tray.
It's genius.
The product was cooked for 25 minutes.
I'm hungry for one right now.
At 425
Kinda.
and fit into a TV tray table. So that was before microwave, so you had to put it in
Yeah,
the oven still.
I
So
know.
still, it doesn't seem that fast. The original TV dinner sold for 98 cents and had a production estimate of 5,000 dinners for the first year. The name TV dinner was coined by Jerry Thomas, who was a Canadian. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
How would I know that?
Well, you should know that.
What?
And you could now bring this up in conversations at the doctor's office. If you're waiting in the doctor's office and there's somebody
I've already
there,
forgotten it.
just say, excuse me, did you know that the person who coined the term TV dinner was Canadian? His name's Jerry with a G.
Next.
And if they say, I didn't know that and I don't care, then you punch them. But here's a couple little, a couple timeline moments of TV dinners after this. In 1960, Swanson added desserts, such as apple cobbler and brownies,
Oh, yeah.
to a new four-compartment tray. In 1969, the first TV breakfasts were marketed.
Mm-hmm.
Pancakes and sausages were the favorites. 1973, the
I'm
first...
so hungry for a TV dinner right now.
You're going to get really hungry. 1973, the first Swanson Hungry Man dinners were marketed.
Oh, the fried chicken.
And they were a lot bigger. They were larger portions.
Yes.
And American football player Mean Joe Green was the Hungry Man spokesman. And then 1986, the first microwave oven safe trays were marketed.
They're not as good, though. It's
The
better in the
microwave ones?
oven.
I'll say this is going to be a bold statement.
You've never had one from the oven.
I've never had one from the oven.
I'm sure when you were real little, you probably did, and you just don't remember.
I never was little. I was born an adult. Benjamin
'Cause-
Button here.
Because I don't think you probably...
Why do you think I'm getting younger and you're getting older? It's a weird situation here.
That's true. I never thought of it.
Okay, I'm not. My back hurts. September 12th, 1953 was a Saturday. U.S. Senator John Fitzgerald Kennedy. What does he do? Big in 1953, you think? Big deal.
Runs for president?
Nope.
I'm so dumb. I don't know.
No, he married Jacqueline Lee Bouvier
Oh.
at St. Mary's Church in Newport, Rhode Island. 600 diplomats, senators, and social figures crowded into St. Mary's Church to hear the Archbishop of Boston perform the rites and read a special blessing from the Pope. According to bestlifeonline.com, there was a list of notable things about this wedding.
Mhm.
So I only took the ones that I think are notable. So some of
Okay.
them I didn't think were notable. But I don't know if you know, but on the day of her wedding, Jackie Kennedy looked absolutely flawless in her ivory tissue
Oh,
silk
Lord.
dress. It was so stunning. In fact, you'd never know that it was made in just 14 days.
By Chinese 6-year-olds.
No, actually, it was an American made, and his
Oh.
dad insisted that they couldn't use a French designer, I guess, which Jackie O was mad about.
Yeah, because she wanted the French.
Yeah,
The
and she-
couture.
and she felt like it made her look more flat than usual. She was very upset, but
Oh.
Joe Kennedy insisted because he knew JFK would run for president and can't have a French designer. Anyway, but 2 weeks before the big day, a water main break in the studio of dress designer Ann Lowe damaged Kennedy's original gown. That's why she had to make a new one 2 weeks before the
Oh, my
wedding.
God. That's pressure.
Yeah, this is according to Rosemary E. Reed Miller, author of Threads of Time, The Fabric of History. She explained in an interview with NPR. She had to redo it all in 2 weeks. And it wasn't just Jackie's dress that was destroyed in that water main break. According to Miller, 14 dresses in total were ruined as a result of the incident. Lowe had to recreate 14 of the 22 pieces she
Oh,
made for the wedding
jeez.
just weeks before the Kennedys would say, I do.
She's probably stayed up nights doing that.
Yeah. So, and I already told you about the French designer debacle.
Right.
So, also, did you know that Jackie's mom allegedly made sure that her dad was too drunk to walk her down the aisle?
Oh, jeez.
So her stepdad actually walked her down the aisle, and they told the public that her dad had the flu.
But he was too
apparently
drunk.
The mom, the ex-wife,
Yeah. Got
got him drunk and led him to the bottle or something.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Let's see, and I think those are kind of
The
yeah,
big.
the big
big items.
water main thing, the bridesmaids dresses, she hated her dress, blah blah blah. No
All
French
right, we can move on.
designer. I thought there was like one other. That was the drunk thing. That was it. Blackjack Bouvier was deemed in no shape to do his fatherly duty.
Blackjack Bouvier.
That's what his name was, apparently.
That's kind of a badass
So
name.
her stepdad, Hugh D. Auchincloss II, walked her down the aisle. All right, and that brings us to September 25th, 1953. And this is the date in pro wrestling of the EMLL 20th anniversary show in Mexico City at the Arena Coliseo. The main event was a showdown between two of the biggest names in Lucha Libre ever, as the masked icons El Santo and Blue Demon continue their decade-spanning rivalry when El Santo defended the NWA World Welterweight Championship against Blue Demon. Santo had defeated and unmasked Blue Demon's tag team partner and friend Black Shadow the previous year, which was the impetus for the feud between Santo and Demon. On this night, Blue Demon was victorious, claiming the championship in 3 long, hard-fought falls. Are you glad I brought pro wrestling to 1953?
I was trying to figure out how you did that.
I did it that way, by magic. There was only one thing that happened in 1953 that I could find.
Well, I'm glad we talked about it.
Aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to September 28th,
Oh, yeah.
and brings us to your story
Yes.
with whatever you have.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Happened on the same day
Oh, let me turn. Hold
on
on.
September 28th.
This
Juvenile Jury
microphone. Let me turn
last
off my.
airs on NBC as it moves to CBS. A TV show called Juvenile Jury,
Hold on.
where they have a jury of children solve problems.
I told you to hold on. So I'm going to talk about the kidnapping of Bobby Greenlease.
Okay, the kidnapping of Bobby Greenlease.
Now, you know anything about that?
All I know is that it happened on September 28th, 1953, the same day that Juvenile Jury last airs on NBC before it moves to CBS.
Okay.
It's a jury of children.
You don't have to repeat it.
Yeah, you said you weren't listening.
I know, but I'm sure the other people were. All right.
What other people?
That's true.
All right.
Okay. So 6-year-old Bobby Greenlease
Okay.
was the son of Robert C. and Virginia Greenlease.
Okay. Robert C. and Virginia, a nice couple. They have a 6-year-old. Nothing bad will happen.
His 71-year-old father was one of the largest Cadillac dealers in the nation.
Okay.
So he's an old man, but
The-
he's real well off.
The father of the kid who was
Who's 6.
kidnapped, or the
Yeah.
great-grand, or the
No,
grandfather?
he's the father.
Okay, yeah, 78-year-old man.
71.
71-year-old.
The 6-year-old. The
Car
Greenleases
guy.
lived in Mission Hills, Kansas, the most
Okay.
elite suburb in the Kansas City area.
I was gonna say that sounds like an elite suburb.
Yeah. The kidnappers, Carl Austin Hall and Bonnie Brown Hetty, had both known privilege earlier in their lives.
Oh, so that's the thing. If you know privilege, it's hard to live without it. But if
That's
you
the
don't know
thing.
privilege, it's easy to be broke.
That's right. It was at military school, in fact, that Hall met Paul Greenlease, who was the older adopted brother of Bobby.
Oh, he was adopted, huh?
Paul was. Hall later inherited a substantial amount of money from his father, but he blew it, failing at a number of business ventures.
So Hall was adopted.
No.
Hall from his father, not the Greenleaf guy.
No. Bobby Greenlease
Yeah.
was adopted,
Yes.
and he's the older brother of... No.
Of the kid that was kidnapped.
Paul Greenlease was adopted. He's the older adopted brother of Bobby Greenlease, who was
Gotcha.
kidnapped.
But the guy who did the kidnapping,
Carl Hall.
Carl Hall,
Was not adopted.
and his money
Let's put
isn't,
those rumors to rest.
and his money isn't from Greenlease at all. It's from his own dad,
Right.
something Hall.
But he blew all of it.
He blew all his money.
Then he robbed a number of cab drivers. His total take was $38, and he was
Wait,
sent.
his total take from a number of cab
Yes.
drivers was $38.
Yep, and he was sent to the Missouri State Pen for that.
Oh, Missouri.
In prison, he dreamed of making the big score.
Okay. I
A
bet lot
score
of
that would
prisoners
allow
do
him to once again live in luxury, like you were saying.
that. Okay, yeah, because once you have luxury, you can't live without it. But if you don't know no luxury,
I don't know.
it's like they say about first class, like Seinfeld always said. If
Yeah.
you've never been in first class, you don't know what you're missing. But if you have,
Yeah, I've been in first class.
and is
One
it
time.
rough every time you're in coach now?
Yeah. I mean, not now. It was so long ago. I don't even remember.
You don't even know how to ride a plane. Like, you're still somebody who thinks it's okay to put your seat back on a plane.
I know.
You're not supposed to do that. People get pissed.
Well, listen,
Yeah?
it's not that big of a deal. Go get over it.
Well, people are getting punched.
All right. Anyway,
Okay. Anyway.
I don't even want to be on a plane because people are
Yeah.
are insane right now.
Yeah, I think I'm sure most times it's not, but you see those on videos all the time.
Well,
And my
not only that,
algorithm-
when we flew to Scotland, there was somebody who went crazy on
Oh,
the plane.
yeah, somebody went crazy. That's true. They were going crazy, yelling, screaming.
Yeah,
That's
it's
true.
and we were over the ocean. I was like, what the fuck are they gonna do?
Yeah, you can't crash land in the ocean.
I mean, imagine being the person sitting next to that person.
Oh, that'd be rough.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
I guess they'd have to just push her out. I didn't think about that then, but now I'm thinking, she's the one yelling.
yeah, get out. All right.
Anyway.
So Hall had later said that the kidnapping was the only crime where he could strike once and then retire for life.
Okay, kidnapping, because then you get the money, and
Yep.
then nobody ever wants to come after you. There's no retribution ever.
So then he gets out of prison, and he's this stocky guy, and his hair's kind of thinning.
Hey.
Living in,
I'm a stocky guy whose hair is thinning.
he was living in St. Joseph, Missouri,
Okay.
and he started going with Hetty.
Now, how far is that from St. Louis?
St. Joseph, a couple hours.
East? North?
I
south?
want to say it's
west?
but St. Louis is east on the coast, or not the coast, the
The border,
line
the
between
border, yeah, before Illinois.
Illinois.
and-
Yeah, so it's west.
Okay.
but I don't know.
Or south or something.
So anyway,
who
Hetty
knows?
was this kind of plump, but not entirely unattractive sex worker.
Okay.
and
Hetty
he-
was a plump. Plump doesn't mean unattractive.
Right.
There's a lot of plump people that are attractive.
And so he's going
I like
with her.
plump. Okay.
She owned her own home.
Wait, he's dating her?
Yeah.
Okay. She
And-
owned her own home. That's good for her.
And they would get drunk all the time together, but he would beat on her.
Oh, geez, that's not good.
Even when
took a
when she
turn.
was arrested for the kidnapping, she had marks on her from him beating on her.
Jeez, poor
So-
girl.
Throughout the summer of 1953,
Yeah.
Hall and Hetty would make these trips to Kansas City to
All right.
watch and follow the Greenleases because they've pegged them.
They knew they had money, and that was a good target. That was
Right.
a mark.
Yes. So at one point, at first, Hall was going to kidnap the 11-year-old daughter, but then he decided the 6-year-old boy would be easier prey.
Okay.
Bobby, the little boy, was
Yeah.
enrolled at a fashionable Catholic school in Midtown Kansas City.
Okay.
In the late morning of September 28th, 1953,
Oh, the same day that, like I said, Juvenile Jury last aired on NBC.
right, the 41-year-old Hetty walked into the school and told a nun she was Bobby's aunt. That
Okay.
she and Virginia Greenlease had been shopping on the Country Club Plaza when Virginia had a heart attack.
Oh, boy.
She said she was there to take Bobby to the hospital.
Oh, boy. And they, of course, bought it hook, line, and sinker.
Yep, and Bobby was brought in. He walked right up to her, took her hand, and walked out. She later said he was so trusting.
Oh, boy.
So Hetty then drives to the Katz Drug Store at 39th and Main,
Okay.
where Hall was waiting in the parking lot.
Okay.
They then
That's
drove a
easy.
few miles directly to Kansas, which triggered the Lindbergh statute, where it's a federal case because it goes across state lines.
Oh, that's from the Lindbergh baby thing.
Right. In a vacant, all right,
Okay.
just batting it down right now.
Oh, boy.
In a vacant Overland Park, Kansas field.
Overland Park.
Yeah.
You know who lives in Overland Park?
Who?
Brendan King.
Oh, yeah.
He lives in Overland Park
he
right
could
now.
go to this field. He should go visit
yeah,
this
you should
field.
go see if he knows about this.
Hetty got out of the car
Yeah.
and walked a short distance away, while Hall took care of killing the child.
Oh.
First,
they
he tried to
killed him.
strangle the boy, but
Wait a minute. Isn't the whole point to get ransom?
I don't know why.
Oh.
They don't ever talk too much about why they kill him right away.
Oh, because I thought the whole plot was to get money.
I guess they just don't want to be identified, so they try to get the money.
And then they can't find him ever.
Yeah, or something. But
Huh.
anyway, he tries to strangle him, but the rope he was using was too short. So then he punches him and knocks out his front tooth.
Oh,
Finally,
a 6-year-old?
He pushes the child down and shoots him in the head with a .38 pistol.
Oh, my God.
Young Bobby did not live 30 minutes after being abducted.
Oh,
They
poor
then
kid.
drove the 60 miles back to St. Joseph and buried the body in Hetty's backyard in a grave that Hall had dug the night before.
Oh.
So he was planning on killing him.
Yeah, he knew he was going to kill him, which doesn't seem to make sense to me.
He then planted flowers on the grave so anyone looking into the yard would think it was a flower garden. So the Greenleases, meanwhile,
Yeah.
they get a call from the school, and it's a nun, and she's asking how Mrs. Greenlease's health is doing.
Yeah, they're like, what are you talking about?
Right. And then, so they realize Bobby's missing.
They didn't realize until then?
It was the
must have been still
same
the same
day.
day,
It was
yeah.
the same day. So they call the police, and then, meanwhile, Hall sends them a pin that Bobby was wearing
Oh,
with
boy.
a ransom note.
Uh-oh.
And he wants $600,000 in 10s and 20s.
Yeah.
And he had calculated that this amount would weigh about 80 pounds and that $1 million would weigh too much for him to carry.
Okay.
So that's how he got that number.
That's how I picked that number, and he'd be able to carry it.
Yeah, he could carry it. So Robert Greenlease calls several of his closest friends to try to get the money. He contacted the head of a local bank, Arthur Eisenhower, who was brother of the incumbent president,
Really?
Dwight D.
Boy.
Eisenhower.
Little connection of fame here. I can't believe we haven't heard of this.
And he saw to it that the serial numbers on every bill were recorded.
Okay.
And they later printed those serial numbers in the newspaper.
Oh, good. Yeah.
While Robert is collecting the money,
Yeah.
Hall keeps calling them and
Yep.
contacting them. He reassures Virginia, who spoke to him 4 different times, that not only was Bobby alive, he was quite a handful, and the kidnappers were certainly earning their money.
This kid's a pain in the ass, even though he was really dead.
Yeah. So finally, a week after the kidnapping, the money was delivered. Actually, twice, because Hall couldn't find it the first time.
So they had to go retrieve it and redeliver it to another place?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
While the Greenleases waited for word of where to find Bobby, Hall and Hetty drove to St. Louis.
Yep.
As word of the kidnapping hit the media, it became a nationwide sensation.
Really?
Kansas City has always been one of the crime capitals of America.
Okay.
And at the
didn't know
time
that.
of the Greenlease kidnapping, the ransom paid was the largest in the history of the nation.
Really? Even bigger than the Lindbergh thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Meanwhile, in St. Louis, Hall and Hetty were at a loss as to what to do next. So they ditched the car that they drove therein
Yep.
and started using taxis.
Yep.
After a round of bar hopping, they rented a small apartment in South St. Louis. Hall deposited the intoxicated Hetty in the apartment, left a few $1,000s for her, and then
He
took off for
with
the
rest
good
of the
life.
money.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he hooked up with an ex-con cab driver and a sex worker, and the 3 of them started buddying around
Oh,
together.
Wow. That's a weird
And
switch.
and here's the funny part. Are you ready?
Is it really funny?
They ended up, the trio, the 3 of them, the sex worker, the cab driver, and Hall,
The
ended
sex
up.
worker, the cab driver, and me.
They ended up at the Coral Courts Motel in St. Louis County.
Wait a minute.
Do you remember that place?
The Coral Courts Motel.
It was all tile.
Wait,
the
how would
whole
I know?
outside-
How would I remember it?
I drove you by it and I pointed it out different times.
You
It
did?
was like it was the tackiest motel ever. It was
So you're
all
familiar
made
with
of tile.
this
My
place?
mom, my mom.
So Amy and her family are from St. Louis.
Yeah, and my mom and my aunts and uncles all had a party there.
Oh my gosh.
And,
I
like-
remember you telling me about that party, so that sounds familiar.
So anyway, that's where they are at
Oh
the
my
Coral
God.
Courts Motel. If you ever have a chance to Google the Coral Courts Motel, you've got to
Is
do
it
it.
still around?
No,
Oh, okay,
no.
it's gone.
Um,
But it was when you and I started
yeah,
dating,
it
and you
was there.
showed it to me
I did.
when we got married there. I've only been to Missouri like
I know.
5
That's true.
times, but you showed me everything a couple times.
And at the time, the Coral Courts was kind of renowned as a place where someone could stay for a while with no questions asked.
really,
if
it's
you know
kind
what
of
I'm
a
saying.
seedy
Yes.
underbelly of St. Louis.
Yes. In fact, each of the beige tiled units had its own garage.
Beige
So no
tile.
car would be left indiscreetly in view of those passing by on Route
Really?
66.
Oh,
So
so
it
you
was
couldn't
right
tell
on
who
Route
was there.
66.
Yeah.
The Coral Courts was built in 1941 by John Carr, who was a man long rumored to be mob connected
Really?
and who had run a posh brothel in St. Louis for years.
You know, posh brothels are my favorite types of brothels.
So Hall is in Coral Courts and he's
Okay.
lavishing money on the cab
Yeah.
driver and the sex worker.
Yep.
She would later say that he stayed so drunk and nervous that he couldn't perform sexually.
Oh, boy.
So he had converted the cab driver to his personal valet, kind of.
Okay.
Giving him a fistful of money and telling him to buy clothes for him or whatever
So
he felt he
that
needed.
cab driver's really going to town on the sex worker, probably.
Probably. So the cab driver goes and tells gangster Joe Costello, who owns the cab company,
Yeah.
about his free spending customer. He's like, this guy's giving
guy's
me
gonna give us-
fistfuls of money and telling
Yeah.
me to go buy his clothes, and he's tipping me up and down.
I love that the cab company's owned by a mobster.
Yeah. So, well, St. Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is St. Louis is known for mobster?
Back
activity?
then, I think back then there was it
Okay.
got a huge Italian community there.
Okay, so that's sort of a stereotype. So all Italians.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
Just
saying
say it.
that,
Go ahead and say it.
that
All Italians in
No.
St. Louis are mobsters.
I'm, 1/4 Italian myself.
Oh yeah,
so-
you
anyway.
are. Yeah, you're allowed to say that about yourself.
So anyway,
You're in the mob.
so Costello,
Yes.
the owner of the cab company, he calls St. Louis Police Lieutenant Louis Shoulders.
Louis Shoulders.
Louis Shoulders. So Hall, guided by the cab driver, rents an apartment just inside the city limits of St. Louis.
Okay.
And shortly after moving in with the money, he was arrested by Lieutenant Shoulders and a patrolman, Elmer Dolan, who was Shoulders' driver.
Okay, so they both arrest Hall.
They arrest
Yeah.
Hall after the
But
the cab company owner called them.
But
and
they don't
said,
know why. They're
Right, they
arresting
don't know
him
why
yet.
he's got
Okay,
all that
yeah,
money.
Gotcha.
Hall was then taken in for questioning about the large amount of money he was carrying around.
Okay.
He was taken to the Newstead police station in North St. Louis, and from that point on, history is on slippery footing concerning the ransom money. Shoulders and Dolan, the two cops,
Okay.
said they brought the suitcase and a footlocker stuffed with more than $550,000 in cash into the station. There would later be testimony that no one saw them bring the suitcase in at that time. They said they did. In any event, only $300,000 was recovered.
Ooh.
So once arrested, it didn't take long for Hall to break down. Hetty was arrested at the South St. Louis apartment where she'd been dumped by Hall.
Okay.
On October 7th, 1953,
You didn't tell
I
me
know.
that date, so I don't have anything.
I know, police and reporters were racing for Hetty's house in St. Joseph where Bobby's body was dug up.
Okay.
Amidst the widespread rage at the murder. Okay, now this part is from my source, which
Okay.
I'll say at the end because I don't
Okay.
want to lose my place right now. Amidst the widespread rage at the murder of Bobby, there was an immediate investigation into the missing ransom money. The glory that Shoulders and Dolan might normally have enjoyed, leading to almost certain promotions, became a dirty scandal that the St. Louis Police Department has never quite shaken off.
Okay.
One thing the investigation determined was that Hall had purchased a shovel. He would later say he'd wanted to bury some of the money but couldn't find a suitable place.
Okay.
He couldn't remember precisely where he'd gone. And then he later gave a statement saying, I feel sure that all the ransom money had been with him at the time of his arrest. So he keeps going, he's like, I was going to bury it, but then I changed my mind. I'm almost positive I had all of it. But, you know, like,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Once Hall and Hetty confessed to the crime, then they just resigned themselves to being executed.
Okay.
And swiftly. When a federal jury in Kansas City returned the verdict, it said that Hetty smiled.
Really?
Prior to Hall's execution, St. Louis Circuit Attorney Edward Dowd went to the penitentiary in Jefferson
Penitentiary.
City, Missouri, and took
Okay.
a statement from Hall concerning the
Jefferson
missing
City's
money.
the capital of Missouri, right?
Yes. So he took a statement from Hall concerning the missing money.
Okay.
This is what Hall's statement was in part. Realizing that my execution for the kidnapping and murder of Bobby Greenlease is near at hand, I am giving this statement as being exactly the truth of my handling of the ransom money in St. Louis, October 5th and 6th, 1953. I feel sure that all of the money was with me in the townhouse at the time of my arrest. I could see the keys on a bureau in the closet after Lieutenant Shoulders had taken them from me.
Mm-hmm.
There was a light on in the closet, and I could see the keys as I left the apartment with the police. I was the last to leave the apartment. I have given the above statement freely and voluntarily, knowing that my death is near at hand and being very anxious to tell the entire truth about this matter. So then, on December 18th, 1953,
Yeah. Oh, the same day that insert something here.
only 81 days after the kidnapping,
Yeah.
Hall and Hetty were executed side by side at the
Wow.
Missouri State Penitentiary.
Really?
The pair, who had declined to seek mercy at trial, also declined to appeal once convicted.
How were they executed?
I'll tell you.
Oh,
The
sorry.
Missouri authorities had installed a second chair in the gas chamber
Chair,
so Hall and
okay.
Hetty could be executed simultaneously.
Oh, gas chamber.
Hetty was the only woman to ever be executed in the gas chamber.
Really?
It's said that Hetty had chirped on cheerfully as she was led into the gas chamber and while she was being strapped in until Hall finally told her to be quiet.
Wow.
Shoulders and Dolan, the two cops,
Yeah.
were later convicted in federal court on a charge of perjury for supposedly lying about the sequence of events from the time they arrested Hall until the time the money was brought into the Newstead police station and counted.
Oh, really? So they may have taken some money.
Various police clerks and police officers testified that they had seen Shoulders and Dolan when they entered the police station with Hall and that they did not see the men carrying anything. Shoulders said the money was outside in the car and that he brought it into the station after bringing Hall into the station. The official theory is that Shoulders and Dolan, who both left the station on what they said were personal errands after bringing Hall in, returned to the townhouse apartment, stole half the money, then brought the remaining half into the police station through a rear door. Hall's statement, of course, directly contradicted that of Shoulders and Dolan, since Hall maintained the money was left behind in the apartment, while they said it was taken into custody at the time of the arrest. And the first flaw, when you think about what happened to the Greenlease money, is it begins with whether you believe Carl Hall or not.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
he
How do you
brutally
believe?
murdered Bobby
Yeah, how could you
and then
believe?
dumped the body and then dumped his crime partner and went off.
Yeah. But
And-
if he's already going to die, what motivation would he have to lie anymore?
That's the other point.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's possible that he wanted to take revenge on the police officers.
Yeah, I mean, he might not have had any, he might not have given a shit about anything, so it's hard. It's a loose cannon.
But their careers were truly destroyed through all of this.
Yeah.
Coral Courts Motel has been torn down. The 8 acres on which the motel has stood has been turned into a subdivision.
Oh.
With many of the principals in this drama dead, and even with the Coral Courts Motel gone, one has to conclude that the missing Greenlease money will always remain a mystery. However, if you're of a prospecting mind, you might take Old Telegraph Road to Merrimack River, then go east toward the Mississippi. And those were the words of, hold on, now I can tell you, MissouriDeathRow.com
Ooh, that's interesting.
and
So
Wikipedia.
this is like a hometown story for you.
Kinda, yeah.
Did you know about all this beforehand?
I think not when I lived there. I didn't. I'd never heard of
You
it.
didn't all not everybody in St. Louis just knows
Right.
this story
Like
anymore.
I know of it from being into true crime, but not when I
Yeah.
was younger. I didn't. It wasn't something everybody knew. I always knew where the Coral Courts Motel was.
Yeah, that's funny. 'Cause I can't believe you actually thought I would remember what that is. Like I don't even know. if
It
you
was
ever-
so tacky. It's
Yeah.
like the weirdest looking building
Yeah.
you've ever seen. So it's like,
But it doesn't even exist anymore now.
no, I know.
But you can probably Google pictures of it, right?
Yeah, my mom, I think, has pictures of her and my aunts and uncles hammered partying
At
in
that
there.
party, I'm sure they're gonna.
Yeah.
They'll appreciate you talking about that.
Yep. That was back when they were.
Well, that was a
partiers.
very good one. I'm glad you came back to do that.
Well, I like to do the podcast. It's
Yeah.
just right now with school is, very
Kicking you
taking up
butt.
all my time.
Very busy. Yeah, I've never seen anybody work more than you as far as like all of your free time. You go to school and work, and then you come home and work, and then all weekend you work, evenings,
Yeah.
weekends, every night, and I just wonder, it's like,
I
is it
know.
worth all that work? Like, you don't get paid for it. So
I know.
anyway, but you care. You're a dedicated person.
Well, and what else would I do?
This September 29th,
Oh.
Make Room for Daddy, starring Danny Thomas, premieres on ABC, known as the Danny Thomas Show.
Oh yeah.
You remember that show?
No.
Ever heard of it?
I've heard of
Make
it.
Room for Daddy sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But Danny Thomas plays the role of Danny Williams, a successful comedian and nightclub entertainer at the Copa Club, based on the iconic New York City nightclub, the Copacabana.
Yeah.
Gene Hagen played his serious and loving wife, Margaret. Their daughter, Terry, was played by Sherry Jackson, and their son, Rusty, by Rusty Hamer. The show's premise involved Danny rarely having time to spend with his family, and Margaret having to deal with the children virtually on her own. Sounds hilarious.
Yeah.
Because she often felt neglected by Danny and felt like leaving him several times. Funny show.
Yeah.
That same day, the first department store to sell insurance is Carson Peary Scott in Chicago.
Okay.
I didn't know a
Department
store
store sold
yeah.
insurance. Yeah.
And then we got one more birthday.
Amy hates birthdays. Amy hates birthdays.
Can't leave September 1953
Okay.
without this most important performer in American history. American actor Drake Hogestyn is born September 9th, 29th.
Who is
1953.
this?
He graduated from Northside High School, where their colors are red and white, home of the Legends. Notable alumni include Dick Hickox, All-American college basketball player, and Jeanette Reibman, Pennsylvania State Representative. Anyway, you don't know who Drake Hogestein is? He attended the University of South Florida in Tampa on a baseball scholarship.
It's a sports person.
No, majoring in pre-dentistry. And he graduated with a double major in microbiology and applied sciences. And then he was drafted by 2 professional baseball organizations, which I didn't know.
He is a sports person.
No, he's not. The St. Louis Cardinals and New York Yankees. He signed with the Yankees, played third base for one of their farm teams that was injured in 1978. But then he won like a Star Search contest of finding people and became a regular actor. He got a role on 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. You ever hear of that show?
Yeah, it's a movie, I think.
That was a movie, and he was one of them. But then he's most known for his role as John Black, Days of Our Lives.
Oh, my God.
Drake Hogestein, the greatest actor and probably greatest human being.
All right,
we
got to wind this up.
He's a really good-looking man. Every woman wants to be with him. Every man wants to be him. And then on September 30th, Earl Warren was appointed Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, but that's nothing compared to Drake Hogestein's birthday.
All right.
And that's
we got to get out of here, Chuck
September
Berry.
1953. It's time to get out of here. Thank you for listening. Welcome back, Amy. Thanks for being here
You're
on
welcome.
the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Start. I love you. Well, it's your
I love you
podcast. You're the best. Amy's great. Everybody's happy to have her. Isn't her voice so soothing?
Well,
It's
right
good to
now
hear.
it's a little bit.
No, it sounds
Creepy.
good. No, it always sounds good. You just have such a nice voice.
Oh, you're
It's like
sweet.
butter.
You're sweet.
Nope, you're a good woman. You're a good woman.
Good woman.
Keep kicking ass.
A
you
good woman.
Yep, it is time to get out of here.
Chuck Berry.
It's also time to let Dale
Oh,
say. You want to say hi to anybody? Is there anybody you want to? Are you just trying to repeat everything I say? Stop saying what I say. Stop saying what I say. Stop saying what I say.
I can't wait for Friday night, so I can go out on the weekend and ruin my life. I'm gonna drink and drive and crash my car. I'll tell the policeman that I'm a star. Yeah, 'cause you and me, we're birds of a feather, yeah. We only like the bands who worship the devil, yeah. You like to drink the blood of the goat, now baby I can tell. So take my hand, let me lead you down the hell, yeah.
Matt Truman Ego Trip is the greatest band of all time. Buy their music.